Hello and welcome. I am the Restless Kaiser.
I'm Richard.
And together we are Modelling for Advantage. Whee! Well done.
Right, I'm playing Tau Empire and I have a Riptide in the back here, a missile side or broadside with missile pods on, high yield missile pods. We've got 1, 2, 3, lots of shield drones. I've got a cold start with 4 fusion blasters.
4 fusion blasters.
2 shield drones. I've then got an ethereal, a Cadre Fireblade, and I've got 4 squads of Fire Warriors.
All of them with
the smart missile systems, the DS8 tactical support drone.
That's the dirty indirect fire, you get no cover thing.
That's the one.
Alright, so panning over to the Space Wolves. I'm using the same army as in the first game that I played, so I have a captain in full boss armor. I have a battle leader. I have a squad of infiltrators. 2 squads of intercessors with power fist sergeant and grenade launcher. I have a squad of reavers over here and the suppressors behind them. I am foolish enough to be trying out the 2 Redemptor dreadnoughts again, both with all the extras, storm bolters and the macro plasma cannons, and the land speeder typhoon. And I have a new plan going into this game, which is to not lose really hard in the first turn. We just made our roll-offs, and what that means on the format that we're playing, which is the local Geek Out format, is that Richard is going to choose his deployment half, he's going to deploy his whole army, and he's going to take the first turn if he wishes to. So we'll be back with the forces deployed. Deployment then. Richard has deployed very clustered up into his corner around his objective. To speak of the objectives, there are 3 objectives, 1 in each of the deployment zones, and they're worth 1 victory point to the person who deployed there and 3 to their opponent. There is a further one in the centre over here, which my infiltrator's on, which is worth 2 to either. So your opponent's objective is worth 3 to you, your objective is worth 1 to you. Richard has his entire force over here, recognising that the Space Wolves might get gunned down in the first turn. I have hidden all the way back here with almost all of my troops, apart from those infiltrators which are here, and a squad of suppressors and reavers which are over there off the table. We are playing tonight at Ahh Geek Out, my friendly local gaming store. It's a busy Friday night. As you can see, there's quite a lot of people down there playing Magic and so forth, so I apologise if the audio isn't great. This is very much an experimental format for us, so we'll be back at the end of round 1 to show you how the battle is panning out. So at the end of round 1, we have the Space Wolves tucked in this corner here. It was a pretty ruthless turn. Richard made us go first because he had the choice, so we hid ourselves away, trying to avoid the worst of the fire and draw the Tau in. In the shooting phase, Richard managed to destroy the land speeder and a squad of Primaris Marines because his Riptide managed to push up far enough, and I didn't realise he could advance and shoot without penalty. So they utterly murdered one of those squads, and his Cold Star commander jumped way over into the corner of the table there and fired 4 fusion blasters at the land speeder. So turn 2. The Space Wolves still clustered up in the corner here, but we did kill the commander who had braved his way out there and arrived without shield drones, so we were able to punish him. And we tossed a few shots out of here, but we didn't achieve anything with them. So this is the end of turn 2 we're looking at here. It's only a 4-turn game. So the Riptide moved very centrally into the table with the express intention of being able to enfilade down on the Space Wolf position. And not too surprisingly, he gunned down another intercessor squad. The smart missile systems, which are now been deployed by the various Tau infantry, managed to kill 1 Primaris infiltrator and wounded a second one. As we move into turn 3, and I'm having to move first, I have a bit of a problem with pen out on the board in that I have to bring in my off-table reserves now, and I don't think there's a good place for them. They're just going to die to all the Fire Warriors, but we'll see. So I got to the end of my movement phase in turn 3 and realised that we hadn't done an end of turn summary. So what happened in the previous turn was the Riptide had moved all the way down here and opened up on the Reavers, which had deployed into this area at the back to try and claim my objective. My suppressors came in this area to be largely out of line of sight. The broadside back there had moved in position to shoot them, but managed to roll terribly, and we had failed to do any significant damage to the Riptide because he healed himself up. Healed himself up, so he's on 10 wounds. So at the end of round 4, it is a victory for the Tau. With the 3-up invuln, we just were not able to kill the Riptide. Roll after roll was made, all the shots in the world poured into it, and it took about 5 damage in total. Everything, the 3-up invuln is just a monster to try and get through on a game of this scale. It did its job, time after time, killed a squad of Primaris Marines every turn. The Reavers here were gunned down by the Tau shooting last turn, and the suppressors, which had come in, they came in as close as they could get to the objective, moved along just alongside the Riptide, really hoped it would go down in the shooting phase, but it didn't, and they were more than 3 inches from this very, very significant objective, which was going to be worth 4 points in total, 3 for the victory point and 1 for line breaker. They had to charge it, because otherwise I just lost, and obviously Tau shooting in Overwatch, I lost anyway. A couple of Tau drones just nipped back here to claim the objective, leaving the final score 5 points for the Tau and 3 points for the Space Wolves. I definitely would have done a lot better if I was able to get the Dreadnoughts into action, but throughout most of the game, getting the Dreadnoughts into action involved exposing them to horrific fire. They did shoot every turn, but they just could not put down that Riptide. All right, Richard, what did you think?
Yeah, it was a good game.
Good game?
Yeah, we really enjoyed it.
Thank you for the game, and thank you guys for watching.